All right, good morning everybody. We're out here today working with just Abilene. And I already got her kind of separated off from Annie. Annie's just outside back here behind the camera, kind of hanging out. I just want to talk a little bit about, the progress, the work we've been doing. It has occurred to me, we kind of limited ourselves to 1 hour just to make these things a little bit watchable, and because that's kind of what we can give per week here. And really what I've been noticing is in the first 30 minutes working with both of these horses in here, splitting our attention and focus, it usually takes us about the first 30 minutes just to kind of get back to a baseline of co-regulation with both of these horses, to places we've already been a little bit. And then it's not allowing us much time to work on growth areas. And so it makes a lot more sense to me if I can, for me personally, shift my focus to one relationship, and probably in 15 minutes get back to this kind of baseline of co-regulation, and then we'll have a lot more time to work on some more growth areas. And when my attention is not split and focused, then it's going to be a lot better for me to help with some of this development. And so we're going to try that today with Abilene, because we've been in some really good places with Abilene, but here recently I don't feel like we've been making a whole lot of progress just because we haven't been able to give her the time and energy. And same with Annie. I think being able to focus a little bit more on that single relationship, and they're both very comfortable here being apart across from the fence. You can see Abilene's pretty relaxed in here. And so I think this is a good place for us to start working. So just noticing Abilene, kind of where she is. The energy got up just a little bit and asking these two to detach from each other a little, and asking Annie to go out and Abilene to stay in. And that was not something they couldn't handle. And again, Annie's just right outside the pen here hanging out. And Abilene feels pretty calm here. And so I'm going to make a request of Abilene to just connect and attach with some pressure on her rear. She looks at me for a second, then she goes back over here and tries to connect with Annie on the outside of the pen instead. And so I just keep a little pressure on her rear. And as she steps in towards me, I step back and away. Just starting to notice where Abilene feels comfortable in the space. Annie starts to move off a little out there. Just noticing where she feels nervous. Annie's starting to walk away, disconnect from her a little. And you can see the tension and energy go up in her body a little bit. And she's really noticing that. So I'm just going to keep asking her to connect here. Anytime she's able to look at me, I'm going to release this pressure for her. Anytime I notice I've lost her, just a little bit back on her rear. I want her to notice that Annie left. I want her to be able to still feel some connection even though Annie's detached, and I want her to find some comfort in our relationship. And so that's just a struggle for her right now, and that's okay. Hi. Hey. Yeah, Annie's over there. She's looking at you. She's just a little further away, standing in the shade. Can you blame her? Hi. Oh, now she's walking off a little more. It makes you a little more nervous, don't it? Hi. So this is about as far as she's followed me out away from this fence and the place where she would see Annie the easiest in the pen. And so just noticing that's a little progress. Her body's calmed down just a little. She still looks for Annie. And even these steps are a little progress, but a little too much for her, and she's got to retreat back over to this place. And that's okay. Woo! Quite a show there. And you just notice this is how she's feeling. And I like to see that she can express it, as long as she can be safe about it. And so if I feel like she's going to attach to me and not be connected and safe about it, I'll just ask her to detach a little pressure on her side. And y'all can hear my dog Cosmo threatening her every time she goes by. She's really afraid of that little puppy. Not really. Cosmo. And so Annie's kind of gotten down there out of sight. And so Abilene's really having a little harder time feeling any kind of connection or safety in her life right now, because she can't really even see Annie. She's kind of hidden in some bushes back there, and she's moved off 7,500 yards. And so Abilene wants to attach, but not in a way that feels safe or healthy to me. And so I'm just gonna ask her to move out here until I can see her really connect with me and display that she's got some semblance of control of her body and awareness of how I feel. That's good there. She at least tried to connect, come in, and I actually heard my request for her to stay out a little bit. So, you know, in that we found just a little bit of connection in this detachment. But I'd really like to see her really calm down and relax out there a little more. And so I'm just going to keep asking her to connect and detach out there. And I don't want her trotting anxiously around the pen. I want her to find a nice, relaxed walk. Girl. So she's starting to calm down just a little, starting to be more aware of her environment a little bit instead of just plowing through it, driven by the anxiety of being detached from Annie. And I like to see that. So if I can tell she's really being present and connecting with something outside the pen that might worry her just a little bit, I'm going to kind of ease off the pressure. Right now she's looking at Annie way down there. She's finally seen her a little bit. She's come out from behind the bush. And as long as she stays connected with me as she's doing that, I think that's great. So there we found a little more connected detachment, and so I just moved that pressure back to her rear a little bit, ask her to reattach. And she does so in a way that feels a lot better. She still feels tension in her body. As we move out a little bit, that's going to be a little easier for her to connect and release some of that stuff. Good breath out. Long time holding the pressure the same, waiting for her to reconnect with it there. But she did, and so it goes away. She's still looking for Annie. Annie's starting to walk back up out there. So there's a nice shift in her body. Releases some tension in her mouth and her legs a little bit. Kind of repositions. It shifts out of her back a little bit. Just a good sign. She's starting to relax just a little bit. And coincidentally, a little more okay with touch here in our relationship. You can see her ears have kind of gotten out of the kind of half-cocked position they'd been in. Yeah, that position. And sometimes I just wonder if she's staying present here or if she's kind of checking out a little somewhere. And so I just put just a tiny bit of pressure on her butt. She responded immediately. And so I took it off and came back here. And now we're scratching just a little bit. So she's checking me out, a little gentle biting there, nothing to worry about. Getting her mouth on me just a little. And there's a nice big yawn. Give her a little space. Get those yawns out a little bit. Got another one coming. Yeah. Ooh. And so this is exactly the thing I'm talking about. How long did it take us to get back to this place in our relationship where we can both just sit here and be really calm and relaxed and release tension in our bodies and focus on connecting? And hopefully now that we've kind of got back to that place, we can start building just a little bit. Still connected. Still really connected with any movement Annie makes outside the pen, and that's okay. Little touch on her dominant side cheek here. She finally kind of softens and notices it. Not that she did notice, but she didn't really acknowledge it. Want me to get that fly off? I'd get it off for you. Yeah, it's a big one. I'll scare it off for you. Now Annie reapproaches. No coincidence, once the energy got a little calmer, felt a little better over here, Annie decided, oh, maybe I'll come back. It's awfully convenient, Annie. You should have been here to support the whole time. She says, well, I'm not quite capable of that yet. Maybe one day. And now we're starting to see Abilene here really kind of lean into this touch a little more, especially on her dominant side here. Although she still wants to kind of check out from it a little bit. That's okay. It feels uncomfortable, wants to ignore that it's there maybe, but still let it happen. And I just want to see that she's really present with that touch. And now she's licking me quite a bit here. And that's okay. I'm probably all salty. And checking out my shirt a little. So she's exploring. And she's doing so in a really kind way. She's pinching my shirt between her lips while licking me. Cosmo, you tell Annie, don't let her get too close. So Abilene, distracted for a second, reconnects, goes right back to kind of licking and exploring me a little bit. And I like to see this behavior because she's really kind of checking me out. Taking a deep breath there as she does it. Getting a feel of my fingers, running her tongue around my fingers and on my hand. Seeing how that's different. Where my shirt meets my hand and starting to recognize that that shirt's not part of me. It's something else. It's not my skin. Really getting her tongue and lips involved in all of it. And so I like to see that she's exploring. And so I'm going to help her out a little bit. I'm going to unsnap that shirt and roll it up. And let her see the skin on my arm and see that it's different. And she's going to work her way up a little bit. Up my wrist. She wants to softly bite it, and I just pull it away a little. Say, no need to bite it. And you can see she's being really slow, caring. Even when she says, I want to get my teeth on your arm, she's doing it really slowly, asking me if that's going to be okay for me. And I just tell her, well, I don't know if I want your teeth around my arm, but you can definitely check me out a little bit here. And she gets to wear my shirt. Wants to pull on it a little bit. So she's just now starting to understand this very secure, sophisticated idea of covering our bodies, mostly to protect it from sun. Just feeling my shirt in between her teeth, pulling on it a little, maybe a little too much. Okay, I'm going to put it back down here. What do you think? Do you understand me a little more now? Hey! Gently bit my finger, not enough to hurt, but she's feeling of me. And you can definitely judge the intention based on the tension in her mouth as she goes to do it, the speed and energy at which she does it. And all of that makes it feel really safe, not unsafe. I still want to be very present as she goes through this. And tell her what feels safe for me and doesn't feel safe. But again, even there, my finger's between her teeth a little, and she's being really gentle with how she feels of it. And it's a lot like Cosmo biting on my hands. He can bite really hard or he can bite really soft. And it's up to me to teach him what's okay for me and what's not. And if she's exploring, I want to let her explore. Fingers are weird. Horses don't have fingers. And these are the things that are doing weird stuff all over her body. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels real scary. And so having an understanding of them is going to be helpful for her. Don't pull it all the way into your mouth. Okay. What else do you want to see? You know what a shoe is? You know what a shoe is? Do you want to see that? Ugh. As you can see, my balance isn't great. So this is a really cool place for Abilene to be in. It feels like she feels that I'm safe enough to start exploring, and exploring is a vulnerable thing to do. And so I really like to see that she's found this place, and we found this place a little bit. It's my shirt again, see? You can see my belly? See how that shirt, it goes all the way up here, see? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. So you can pinch the shirt a little and it doesn't hurt me, but if you pinch the skin, that's no good. Yeah. Try that one. There you go. See, it's very much the same. I'm a bit symmetrical. Yeah, that one's the same as that one. And so as she's exploring me now, I'm going to take my right hand and just scratch up here on her neck a little bit. And she seems to notice that and be okay with that a little bit. And so now we're both having to be connected in two places at once. Annie, did you just drink all Cosmo's water? That's okay. He probably didn't want it that much anyways. You tell her, Cosmo. Get her. So now Annie's having to connect to me scratching her on her shoulder and connect to exploring this hand, and I'm having to connect to keeping this hand in a safe spot for me, and also what feels safe for Abilene back here as I'm scratching her. And she seemed to have all of a sudden gotten really comfortable with our bodies being closer together in space. What'd you think? Yeah, I scratched you, so now those fingers are all dirty. Yeah, they're all dirty. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little pressure on her rear, ask her to come along here and just explore some of our connection here and attachment. And again, I think we find kind of the edge of where she's comfortable, but she steps out into that with me this time, which is nice. Goes back to wanting to lick, explore just a little. My wife's going to be awfully jealous. She sees this. And so I like to see she's able to come with me out here. Oh, it was scary. She came out the farthest she's ever come out here, following me in attachment. And she says, I need to go back. And that's okay. Go back. Just reconnect with me a little bit. I'll go back with you. Yeah, I'll go back with you. What do you think? What do you think about all that? If you want this kind of love from your horse, all you got to do is bathe in all natural lifemanship horse nip. We sell it on our website. Go find your bottle and cover yourself in it. And your horses will lick all over you. Yeah, those are my pants. Yeah, what do you think about pants, huh? You want to see them again? Here. They're right here, look. Yeah, you want to see them again? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're going back to the hand. I know, look, it can do all kinds of stuff. It can move all funky like that. Yeah. It's got wiggly fingers. Ooh. Yeah. So I don't want her to get so caught up in this licking that it turns into kind of this soothing behavior to where she uses it to avoid the uncomfortable presence around accepting touch, which I'm starting to wonder about just a little bit from you. Just a little bit. And so just something I'll just keep in mind. Seems to feel a lot better about touch when you're licking me. Yeah. Yeah, you do. All of a sudden, you're okay with it, huh? But I do see you notice it coming in. And so I'll just keep exploring this with her right now if I'm not sure about what all this is for her. It's definitely seems like the biggest effort she's made to really connect. And that shows with how gentle she's being in the way that she touches me. Careful, thoughtful. Works her way up to my shoulder a little that time. Was hard for her. Working into my belly a little bit. No, there's nobody else in there. It's just the belly. Don't pull my mic cord out. That won't be any good for any of us. Yeah, don't pull my microphone. I know you want to explore my belly, but it tickles when you did it with your lips and your whiskers. I'm sorry. It's a sensitive area. It's a sensitive area there. That's a sensitive area too. You be careful there. Whoa now. Hey now. Hey now. I know you're just checking it all out, but you gotta figure out which areas are more sensitive than others. Yeah. Alright. Oh, yeah, that's my shirt pocket. And my face. And my face. And that's my hat. Yeah. Hi. You want me to take it off? You gonna see my hair? You gonna see that hat? Yeah. Licking my hat. Pulling on it with her teeth just a little. Scared you a little, didn't it? That's okay. Yeah. You want me to turn it over? You can see that part of it. So these are things that have been part of our interaction this entire time. And she's finally feeling safe enough to explore those things. And so I want to let her explore them. Understand them. Or at least attempt to. And see how they apply to her. How do they affect her in the world? Even if she don't understand this hat's here to keep the sun off of me and make me look really, really cool at the same time, she at least understands that, okay, that's not something I need to be afraid of. And if you really lick all over that thing, you're going to dissolve the glue in it and it's going to get all floppy. I don't want that. But it goes right back on my head. Ooh. See that? Right back on my head. See? And it kind of makes a funny sound when you hit it like that. Yeah. What do you think about that? Laura, has she displayed any of this kind of behavior with you?
A little bit, but not like that.
Not to this extent.
Yeah. Probably because she's too busy having to manage Annie most of the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Annie feels a little jealous when you
a
and
little
Abilene
bit. Yeah,
kinda...
when I when I try to connect, when I give Abilene my attention, Annie usually gets a little bit dysregulated, and then
When you and Abilene are connecting, she gets less connection from both of you and doesn't feel as good.
yeah, exactly.
And does something about it. You want to see the best side of me? Here, this is my best side. What do you think about that? Yeah. Oh, there's no flab for you to grab back there. No, it's hard as a rock. Yeah. Uh-huh. Now don't pull any back hair. Ooh. Hey. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, hey now. There might be a little flab back there. Be careful. Yeah, be careful. Be careful back there. Yeah, that's probably my best feature there. Yeah, my wife will tell you that. What? Hi. Hi. What do you think? Do you feel completely satisfied as to kind of what makes me up? Huh? Yeah? It's not really nothing special. Not much different from you. No. I'm not much different from you. Oh. Some nice yawns after that. Good girl, Abilene. I feel okay. Yeah, there can be some tension in that exploring that happens. I know. Just release it. I like that. Okay. You want me to scratch your butt? Laura's been talking about you asked for this, but you don't feel really comfortable. You don't feel super comfortable. You like butt scratches, but it's hard getting there, isn't it? Well, how about if I help you out? What if I work my way back here for you? Can I work my way back here for you? How do you feel about that if we start slowly? Whew, right there's the hard spot. Okay, just relax a little. So she told me where kind of her line of how far she could tolerate me getting back was. And I want to see her relax a little before I bring that hand back down. So we'll work on it again. Alright, let's step around here. Is that okay? Ooh, that's uncomfortable, being back this far on the shoulder. But she's able to kind of regulate just a little bit, and so I'm just going to come back out here where she feels the safest. And we'll go again. Oh, got too far. Felt like she needed to reposition me. You want a butt scratch? Which side do you want me to scratch? This one? Want me to come over here and scratch this side? Okay, that was a good try. So she doesn't feel real certain about it. You want me to come down this side and do it? But I think she wants it. Can we work our way down? Or is that too scary? That too scary? Okay. Can I work my way around here? See the way that's gonna happen. See, as if I can work down here like this. Can I work down here like this? Oh, that's too scary. Bit of a quick movement for her caused me to kind of go, oh. So we'll just reconnect a little. And we'll come down this side this time. Yeah. 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 And down this side we get about to the shoulder before we feel like we gotta move. So just rhythmically working our way down. Anytime she feels like she needs to move away, we let her move away, reposition us. We'll try again. And there, she says it's getting a bit uncomfortable there. Can you regulate and hold it a little? Good. Hi, Cosmo. I see you, buddy. I see you. You're okay out there. So we just notice as we kind of get to the place over here, it's about where the white comes down her shoulder. I just want to see her connect with me a little and relax just a little bit in that. Groom me a little if you want to. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the neighbors. Yeah, my nose isn't near as big as yours, I know. Not near as big as yours. My face? Yeah, that's my nose. What do you think about it? What do you think about that nose? It's not as soft as yours. A little too much. Oh, you're gonna unbutton it if you pull on it there. Don't unbutton it. Nobody wants to see that.
Got like a minute.
Got a minute left.
See, that's what I get.
Yeah, and she just feels uncomfortable about asking for it enough that it makes us feel kind of uncomfortable. She pushes herself into it,
Yeah.
but she doesn't feel quite ready for it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes it hard for somebody to respond to something like that when you feel all this tension build in her body,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, my body reacts to it.
Yeah, and mine does too, and that's okay. It's something you just keep practicing. And she started out nicer that time, but as we got further into it, that tension built enough. So it's a thing that she's going to continue to work on, and we'll just both continue to work on it. I'll continue to work my way back down here. Starting to see quite the change in her though, and how she feels about this touch. She's kind of seemed annoyed with it for the last month or so, anytime we tried to work on it. But today she's kind of settled into just a little bit of it. The further we get back, the more it scares her. But
She's gotten used to when there's touch, there's usually Annie coming up close to pat her and chase her off, and maybe that's part of it.
So she's able to relax into it, and even just different touch around her face. She's putting weight of her head on me and letting me scratch under her throat and jaw. These are really sensitive areas. And so she really seems to have found a way to trust me in a lot of these areas here around her face. That's really nice. That's really nice to see. And she makes me feel really comfortable being here as opposed to in the past. And part of that, I think, is that she understands that if it gets too much, she can just back away. And so I'm just going to push into this place just a little bit more this time. She's able to connect with me just a little in that. She does need to step back. So we'll just work our way down again. Get to a good place. That'd probably be a good spot to leave off. Good spot to leave off, Miss Abilene. Yeah. All right, thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed that. We'll see y'all next week.